In the game of baseball, there are many key positions out there on the field. And guess what we're covering today?
What are we covering, Steve?
Man, one of my favorites, the shortstop position.
There's been a lot of great players coming out of that position right there, Steve. A lot of great ones.
Yes, it has. DMV Strike Zone had the chance to catch up with the head coach, Bryan of Bowie Bulldogs, who is currently number 2 in the Maryland Class 4 PG region, about their shortstop, James Wallace IV.
James Wallace has been our starting shortstop most of the season. He's got pretty good hands, works through the ball well, and cover a lot of ground. So being a senior out there, we just look for our shortstop to kind of take charge on the infield, and he's done a good job with that.
Some of the challenges I face being a shortstop, playing mainly right-handed batters, you know, they're going to pull the ball my way, and even when they stay at the middle, they're still going to come to me. So and even being a leader in the infield, I have to know where the ball should be at all times, and I have to be sure that I'm a leader for my infielders because they're going to look at me as leader of the infield. So I have to make sure that I'm consistent and that I am mentally intelligent as well, so I know all the plays and stuff like that, and I just have to be sharp mentally and physically every day. You got to know everywhere. You got to know every play, where the ball should be at all times. You got to know the runner's speeds, how fast they are, how slow they could be, everything. You got to take everything into account.
Strike Zone also had the chance to sit down with Joe Kline, who is a senior shortstop at the number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1. Ranked Eleanor Roosevelt Raiders. Joe, what are some of the challenges you face at shortstop? I know that's a very versatile position.
I've been playing baseball since I was like 7 years old, so I'm pretty sure coming up at a young age, every kid wants to play middle infield. Shortstop is where all the action happens when you're first growing up. You know, people become better hitters later on when you start playing. The ball gets scattered out more, but most of the action is still at shortstop. You got to tell everybody where the throw is going. You got to be quick. Most of the time, they're probably first or second in the lineup. You got to make sure you're consistently getting on base. There's a lot of things. You have to have leadership quality. You got to make sure you're doing everything you're doing on and off the field. A lot of baseball is mental. If you're going into the game thinking that you're going to make a play, you know, more of the chances are going to lay in your honor, lay on your side. You're going to end up making that play. But if you're nervous, you're going out there jittery, you're not going to make that play. You got to be very confident when you're out on the field, especially playing shortstop. It's hard, man. It's a very competitive spot. I have my rec team, those coaches, they told me that there's always going to be a better infield player. And I was growing up to play with a lot of heart. I previously played football, so, you know, hearing that, growing up, being told that there's always going to be somebody better than you, you got to make sure that you're always outworking that person. You can't give up at shortstop. Just because you're better than somebody at a specific point in time doesn't mean that they're not going to outwork you and eventually take your position.
Thanks for watching DMV Strike Zone. That's all we have for this week. Until next time, I'm Stephen Harris.
I'm Markwell Sanders.
See ya.